Okay, hi, everybody. I want to open up the Sherborn Conservation Commission meeting of December 19th, 2024 at 7:16 with a roll call of who's present. Michael Lesser, present. Matt
O'Leary, present.
Steve
Scrimshaw, present.
Courtney
Courtney present.
Kurt
Kurt Stigl, present.
Jacob.
Jacob Strauss, present.
Okay. We're all here. Any issues with the agenda? Anything under the 48-hour rule that we need to add for some reason? Okay, hearing none. I'll just move on here. The first thing is, I don't know if I heard back from Terry. No, I didn't. January meeting schedule, since we have to continue some things. Do people have any? The first Thursday would be January 2nd. The question is whether we want to switch from the first and third Thursdays to the second and fourth Thursdays. Not sure what stuff will come up even by January 2nd, given the holidays. People, so there might be a value in moving it to the second and fourth Thursdays. But I don't know, what are people's availabilities?
Good either way, doesn't matter to me at all.
Okay.
Here, Steve.
You're okay, Steve, either way?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Courtney and Kurt?
Is that actually going to avoid the select board schedule, or is that not the goal?
It's not, that's not the goal.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me.
And Kurt's still,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not available on the 23rd, but yeah.
okay. Joyce, would it make sense just because, do you think we'd have much on the agenda if we did it on the second?
We could potentially have one RDA.
Then we'd have to ask for an extension, I guess. Is there some time issue for that, or?
Yeah, we were going to make them, they would like to have been on this meeting, but they couldn't make it. So if we didn't have our meeting until the second Thursday, that would be okay. But I don't know if they'll go to the next one comfortably. It's to cut down trees.
Ah, you mean that they'll feel comfortable going to the 9th versus the 2nd?
Oh, no, they'll be fine with the 9th.
Oh, okay. So do you think it's some value to just move it to the January 9th so that we might have more business to do? And see what happens there. Okay, I haven't heard from Terry. I sent her an email, a text, seeing whether she has any issue there. Okay, then maybe we'll switch it to do a little more, and we don't have to jump right after the holiday. Okay, it's 7:20. I am going to, before we get to the Mill Street, I'm going to open the because I don't think we'll talk tonight. I'm going to open up the continued. Actually, I'll let that one ride for the moment. Let's go open up the continued public hearing for the abbreviated notice of resource delineation for 13 Mill Street, aka 0 Mill Street. Proposal to review delineated wetland line. Okay, let's open that up. I saw that some information that I put in the box just came in literally in the last, whatever, 15 minutes, half an hour from Deshang, based on today's site visit. Do you want to, is there something to present between you, Deshang, and Joyce about this?
And I can share my plan, so Joyce, if you don't have yet.
Why
Set
don't you
up,
share your plan?
okay.
I mean, I actually want to share it on my screen because I have some questions about it. It might make it easy.
You share, that's all right.
I'm gonna do that because whoops. Would you like to explain about this one? Although maybe it's a mistake for me to do it, but
Shared it,
what's that?
and I see. It's too small. Did you share the
Oh.
plan in the full scale?
Is that helping or not?
See a small window on my end.
Oh, is that what other people see? A small window?
No, I can see it.
I can see it.
Well, maybe I'll have to have you share. If you can't see, so so this is not showing up on yours. Okay,
I see a little, but maybe I have too many windows open and close some of them.
yeah, I think I'll blame it on you.
No, it's likely. On my end. I have too many.
Everybody else can see it, so must be you. All right, are you getting any better or should I just stop sharing?
I need to get even to see the Zoom window. I can see the Zoom window now. Some window.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking minimize it.
should I, can you see more or should I just stop sharing and let you do
I
it?
can see now.
Oh, okay.
All
What
right.
I'd like to point out here on the, and whether this has all the changes as discussed with Joyce. So I'm trying to understand what's wetland and what's not wetland. I see a line, but I can't quite.
Between the two green line, wetland lines are wetlands. And there's in between, there was like a walking trail, which we eliminated. So I flagged as upland before. And that today we agree that it's definitely built through the wetlands. So I labeled as cart path and trail, but it's eliminated as upland.
So all these flags are no
Yeah,
longer,
the gray out was no longer. If you see the green ones are the active wetland lines. The gray out is just the old one. There's a
okay,
major changes, and then there's one is 304 was moved up 4 feet. So, and then I did indicate where the
so this is upland area here,
correct
and this is all,
wetland.
that's all wetlands here. I guess you have to go on to the next page to see.
Yeah, that one has the whole thing, but this is a more enlarged version of it. But actually, sheet one is have everything pretty much.
Right, but this is all wetland in here.
Correct.
Okay. And this is all, I guess this will come to it as, I guess you can put your little green dots all in here too. So that it's clear.
I guess I can, yeah, I should be able to fill up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So before if that's more, yeah.
Yeah, so all this should be little green dots up to, and so that the Oling upland area is back here, is this segment here, I guess.
Correct. And then in the front, so.
Well, we're just looking at this one lot here, I assume. We're not. We're just,
It's all one part.
oh
of
yeah,
it.
but this is one property and then this is okay. So that, right, okay, this area here.
Yeah. No, it's
is,
likely we're going to the other side of it, but we do need to know what are the uplands, so that's why we
Right,
did
so
all the
you-
delineations.
So you're not putting the buffer zones back here.
Yeah, at this point is, well, I can add it on, it's no problem. from, it's just counting on the total acreage of upland. I think to go to that side to put a house, it would become the way the challenge.
Yes, it's quite a wetland distance. And I guess you should mark this as BVW.
Yeah, sure, no, I can add a note there, BBW in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, it
So
is a BBW, yes.
Okay. I don't know whether you want to address, well, Joyce, you'll have to see whether this has everything that you wanted. And then
So
issue
if I
with, yeah, go on.
So I understand what you're doing, Deshang, with the green, but you have your text so small, we can't read it when you're just
Oh,
looking
I
at the
brought it
plan.
up, right now it's probably not, I can even make it a little bit even bigger, so all the labels is bigger than, I doubled it, more than double actually. Before was 1.4, right now it's a 3, so.
So it's so small. What I think would be helpful for the final plan, you've got is to show the buffer zones, because that helps people see which side is the wetlands and which isn't.
Okay, yeah, I
But
showed
if we
on,
could also remove all those interior flags on a revised, the next revision. So that when you're presenting a plan to somebody, they're not trying to figure out what's good and what's not good. It's all, we're just looking at the proper wetland line.
sure, no, I was just for tonight because so which are eliminated, so if I don't show it, so people won't, that's why.
No, I
use a
agree, I agree.
And take all the ones, if we feel everything else is good, I can make the font even bigger, so. I try to print it out, it's legible now, before it was really too small, but on the other sheet, so that's why we brought it up to 40 scale. So this, the first sheet, it have the whole, everything, so which, it's easier to see the overall property, and then we brought up to subdivide into 2 sheets, so which is, it's like doubled size. So that's why we made it 3 sheets.
Well, one sheet is fine as long as you make your text larger.
A little bit hard because it's 80 scale. I can make it. I will make. I already made it, and I think it's legible now, and the font is better than before. Before that font is kind of funky, so I used a little bit better font. So I will grow it up for the printout. So checking the locations of the flags as we agreed. So for the record, for the final copy, I can take it out I will take out the numbers, but I will still keep the line there that's pretty much demarcated the trail. So it's a feature good to have.
Yeah, but that's not the trail though. You're showing those, you don't want to show that line as the trail because your wetland flags were off the edge of the trail. If you want to make it, a narrower, but I wouldn't call those 2 lines, I wouldn't document the trail as being those 2 lines. I understand what you're doing, and I think you should, you can say that it's a trail, and a historic trail, but it wouldn't be as wide as you're showing it here.
It's probably more or less, but I mean, it's not like really, the trail is just a trail, right? So nobody's going to really make any changes to it except the routine, use and the minimum maintenance as any trail.
I would say either do it to scale or drop it, or just put a dotted line of the scale, just so that it's.
This is pretty much follow the shape. I can make it to, I mean, more or less is about, so especially on the lower side is very straight. The other side of it, the down gradient side, is probably a little bit bumpy. But I know on average it's about 7 feet wide. So some places a little bit wider.
Is it really 7 feet wide? I thought it was narrower than that. Joyce, I can't remember.
You know,
whether-
we didn't measure it in the field. I just know that, you know, it's, the trail itself is,
Or you want me just put in the middle, also a dash line,
Right,
so maybe a 2 or 3 feet, so just like just kind of like indication of the location, so the center.
right.
if you want to mark the center, that's fine, then we don't have to be concerned about the width of that. So Joyce, you, what? Whoops. So Joyce, you've reviewed this, this is the most, this quite circuitous little thing here.
Yep.
Were there any changes that needed to be made to that?
We made a
Meanders?
change, we did on the, before the last meeting, we had made a change on one of them and he's reflected that.
304 is already changed, if you can
yeah.
see that.
And then we didn't make any changes on the back side except to eliminate that access. On the back part of the property, there's a fairly defined banking. Deshang augured a lot of places that along the edge just so that we could prove that it was where it was, and I didn't change any flags across the rear.
Steep rise, so over the, it's like a much very high hill.
Okay, there's the issue of what other resources might be here and whether that's something you wanted to capture in this ANRAD, or you're only capturing the bordering vegetated wetlands.
Just the BVW, I feel as I also submitted a USGS map, is basically within our property line or and upgrading. So that the intermittent stream, as you can see in near
Yeah.
the flag number, no, not more into it, more into the wet. You see the 2 double line there? More at the bottom, lower left, lower right corner. Yeah,
Lower.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's roughly, not roughly, actually pretty accurate. We were closing, there was like in the intermittent stream was closing there, but you don't really see water flow. I was there quite a few times because there's lots of riprap, stone filled it up that channel. So the water is basically right now is seeping through those riprap rocks. So you don't see water on the surface closing the trail right now.
Right,
Well, what you're talking about is that it's the intermittent stream crosses
Right.
the trail, and instead of putting in a culvert, they just put in large rocks so that the stream is able to flow from one side of the wetland to the other.
Right.
It's not blocked, and it's not it's just a method they used for access across wetlands.
Right,
You know, a long time ago.
right, and the stream, I just checked and I submitted a copy of the USGS map, so the response to the not on this one, it's a separate plan. So to show that the USGS marked perennial streams is way down off, pretty much off the property line on the right. I feel we don't really need to delineate the midland stream per se, because the setbacks is not going to be any difference from the BVW is going to control the setbacks for any future development design.
Hmm.
To make a note, we did determine the boundary of the intermittent stream, but we know it's where within this broad wetland system.
Right, I'm just trying to figure out whether we, I'm just pulling up the other.
Or USGS,
So in the ORAD, we can just call out.
like you can see the locus. So that
Oh, yeah.
that intermittent stream basically all the way go to the northeast
This
uh,
is-
property line, so, and then turn into perennial, but it's not going to, again, not going to impact, it's more than 200 feet away from our upland area. So,
Right. So Michael, if you go back to the other end, see where that little tail is?
This way, going to the
Yeah.
left?
So on the USGS map, this is the Mass Mapper version of the USGS map. On the USGS map, that's a solid line right there. That not there, but that little right there as it goes in. I agree with Desheng that I don't think the boundaries will extend into beyond the limits of the BVW, but we will just call out the fact that all we are reviewing is the BVW line. So if you're doing something and it may need to be proven exactly where the perennial streams are.
so that's the upgrading side of it. I was there many times that barely have water in it, because you can see that section
Yeah.
of, it's a very steep slope, and then the stream almost ended up there at the street, the Mill Street. So the west of Mill Street flowing out way, so it's very tiny drainage area. There's no way that can be a perennial stream.
So again, it's not, it's not saying it doesn't. You're probably right. I don't entirely disagree with you, but if you get to a point where you need to deal with it, then you'll have to follow the process to be sure that it dries out.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand, we understand that, so it'll probably any summer you go into that property line, that stream dries up. For sure.
Right, well, I know, right, you keep saying that, but Joyce's point is that we just want to be clear that this ANRAD is only looking at the BVW resource, and it's not stating whether there is any other resource area, such as a perennial stream and the resulting riverfront. If that's
Correct.
something you want covered in this ANRAD, then we need to do a little more work. So I just want to be clear that somebody who's based on this decision is not going to be saying, hey, how come it doesn't cover everything, but it's only covering the BVW? As long as we'll put that in there explicitly, but I just want to make sure that you and your client understand that it unlikely that there's another resource, but that it's still, that would affect the wetlands jurisdiction, but that we need some other work in order to do that. So it's not a matter of, sure, it's unlikely, just a matter of we're not taking a position on it. Unless you're requesting that, and then we have to do some more work.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's two reasons here, so one is that section marked, if that was marked anywhere, this MGIS, in my opinion, is the latest USGS map. I don't know the DEP where they get their ones. This one clearly showed as an intermittent stream from west to east, a property line on a property even up to the west is intermittent stream. So, and then
I just want to know, not, you keep talking about what it seems most likely. It's just want to be clear about whether you under this ANRAD are saying that there is no perennial stream and that's part of the findings. Or whether that is something that we're not prepared to do that, because more work would be needed to be done. But if you expect that to be part of the findings, then we have to do some more work. If you're willing to accept the ANRAD without a finding regarding the streams, then we can move ahead. That's the decision, not a matter of what you think or what this shows or that shows. I mean, DEP even noted that there was a concern when they made comments on this hearing about whether there were some other resource areas besides BVW.
yeah, I agree, I understand, we are not seeking. So to delineate that stream or determine that's perennial or intermittent. So if we come into the point, we'll do the design, if the commission feel the information on the USGS is not enough for you to make a decision, then we will have to make a decision at that time. I'm just trying to explain to you is from my
Oh, I
own
understand
personal.
that point.
Yeah.
I understand.
Right.
Okay, as long as you've
Well,
been
I'll,
clear.
I'll explain, I'll explain my take on this is there are other resources that are not depicted on your plan, such as the intermittent stream, and we don't know for sure about the location of the perennial stream. I would not be comfortable approving a plan that I know that there are other resources unless we explicitly stated in our order that there are other resources that we are not certifying the boundaries of.
Seems
Because
to be what they expect. If I hear you right, DeShang, that's fine with you. It's just to
That's
do
correct.
what he said.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
because
Yeah,
it has to be clear to whoever then looks at this plan later on that there are other resources there that are not depicted, whether or not they, affect the boundaries of, our jurisdiction, but I don't want it to be somebody makes a design later on or a future commission looks at the plan and imagines that this is it, that this shows all the resources that are existing on the site. So I
No,
think
I
it's
understand.
very clear.
Sure,
Right.
no, the ORAD should spell that out. I have no problem for that.
okay.
So
Yeah, we
because
don't have to-
we didn't delineate the intermittent stream. And so for that sake, on the plan, definitely
Right.
cannot
We don't
determine.
need to talk about it more, as long as you're willing to take that caveat, those caveats that we're gonna put in our findings. Then I think, I guess, Joyce, are there any other issues then in terms of this, besides cleaning up the plan? Or
No,
that's-
I think just cleaning up the plan is is what I'm looking for sure. Mostly just to be legible, because when you look at the plan that you submitted in hard copies, because the hard copies are going in our file, you can't read the numbers. So don't just look at it on your screen. Print it out and see if you can read it
No,
without a
I-
magnifying glass.
Definitely, no, I fully agree with that. So coming back, I said that, well, not trying to blame somebody else, but I say, well. So
No, I understand how it happened.
I was having a hard time myself, so I said, well, I get to make it bigger. So I coming back, I double the size, and I'm gonna check again if I have to make it the size even bigger, I will do it. for
Right.
sure.
I want to go to the commission. Do other people have questions about the plan, this application and what we?
Is the final version of the plan going to say that the plan does not take a position as to whether there are other resource areas on the plot, or just the order?
I think that I can in the big screen, so where I'm gonna put the plan is only depicted accurately for the wetland bordering BVW, not excluding any other possible resource areas.
Okay, we will put that in our findings too, so it'll be.
Yeah.
in places.
So I can make a note like just in the big lot 2 area where I label the lot 2, so for the acreage, I can put in, determine the BVW and no other resources.
Just make it clear that it's all BVW there and not anything. Trying to be more careful about what the wetland lines, the resource delineation lines are representing which resource.
All BVW at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
So no other resource.
Other comments from or questions from the commission? Any questions from the public or other people? Or comments? Okay. So I guess we can close the hearing and then have our findings. Does that make sense, Joyce?
Yeah, close the, yeah.
Okay. I move to close the hearing on this ANRAD for AKA 0 Mill Street or 13 Mill Street.
Second,
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I. Running around here, Steve,
Aye.
Courtney,
aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Matt,
I,
Jacob.
Aye.
Okay. So now we'll do the findings. I guess now that I see without sharing the screen, I see that there are more neighbors around. So there are no questions for anybody else from the neighbors. Okay. So we will have the finding that the revised plan as discussed. I guess we're gonna approve this ANRAD even without having the final plan, even though, right?
So, yeah, so I think, approve it subject to the receipt of the revised plan.
Okay. And for the revised plan, the issues are removing the old flags, show all the buffer zones, label that it's only BVW, and mark and fill in the BVW areas, as well as label the line as BVW and make it legible. Did I miss anything?
For the showing that it's BVW, you mean that it doesn't show any non-BV, whether it doesn't indicate whether there are any non-BVW resource areas or
There's
not.
two parts to that. One is that the line itself has to be marked as
Yep.
BVW, and the second is what you brought up. So there's two different parts. Okay. I move that we approve the this ordering vegetated wetland delineation plan, subject to receiving a revised plan with the changes that have been enumerated here, and that this plan does not address any other wetland resource areas that exist on the site. Does that cover it?
I don't know
On
if
or
we
adjacent
should
to the site?
say other wetland resources. I think
Wetland resources,
it's
not
more
the
specific in the midstream, so I don't think it, except the BVW, I don't think it is any other wetland resources
Well,
on
I
the
just
site.
want to leave it general because I'm not sure what's there, whether it's,
Should that say on or adjacent to the site?
oh, yes, I guess, on or adjacent to the site. Okay, I agree. We need to add that since the buffer zones or riverfront could come from other sides. Okay. Does that seem to cover it? Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Steve,
Aye.
Whitney,
aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Jacob,
Sorry, who was that next?
what?
Who were you asking next?
You.
Okay, aye.
I see two of you, so I don't know what to do. Matt,
I,
Walk around a bit.
okay.
How many
And
hard
Jacob wants
copies?
to
you
vote
need?
again. But, okay.
Two.
Two hard copies, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Uh, okay.
We'll take care of it tomorrow, so one thing.
right. Okay, fine, we gotta remember to get that adjacent issue in there. Site resources. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We can now move on to, we're a little late here. 7:45. Oh, yeah. Let's first, I'm going to reopen the continued public hearing on 3 Oldfield Drive. And we are going to continue that without discussion to, I guess this is where we have to make our big decision on. So we're going to do, so I guess we're going to do the 9th and the 23rd, the second and fourth, because this is when we have to pick it. Because they wanted to do it on the, was the 23rd acceptable for Patrick and Robin? You muted.
We said the end of January, I didn't specify.
Okay. Let's hopefully get it on the 23rd and move this thing forward, since by then we should be able to have whatever discussions are needed, I hope. Okay, I move that we continue this hearing to January 23rd, 2025 at, should we do 7:20?
Let's do our determination at 7:20 and do the
I thought the determination was coming on the week, 2 weeks before, on the 9th.
oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, you're right.
We'll do it at 7:20 on the
Yep.
23rd. We could always agree with them to move it to later in the meeting if something changes. Okay. Oldfield, okay. Moving it to 7:20 on January 23rd, as I said. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Steve,
Aye.
Whitney,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Jacob. One of you, Jacobs. You're both muted now.
Aye.
Really? Who's that?
That was me.
Oh, now I see. I barely saw that it was unmuted. Thought somebody else was filling in for you. Okay. Now we did that. Let's get to, not sure who's here for Great Rock Road.
So Karen has a couple of meetings tonight, so we can, if we can review it without her, she would be grateful.
Appreciativeness. Okay.
There was a second revision sent out this afternoon. There was one revision and then a second one. Did you, any?
I don't think I saw that email. Is there an email?
All right, hold on a second and let me get that.
So the only thing in the online, in our boxes are the old stuff.
Yeah, it just went out.
Okay.
All right, if I could share. Are you able to see my screen?
Yep.
So the things that Eric added to the plan that we requested were the edge. We wanted to know where the edge of the lawn was. And that's edge of the lawn is right here.
Oh,
And I asked him to move the wetland markers out to the edge of the lawn where the tree line isn't changing. So he's added markers here and then over here. And this is the only place that you'll note the well. They've got well issues, so the septic has to go in this location here. It tests well. And so this was the only place that they could put it. They have tucked it back, but it's oh, that's a brake line. That's what that is. So, I don't see to take down more trees by pushing it back doesn't make sense to get it further out of the buffer zone because the lawn line already is right, it's right here. So they'll just basically be creating this mound where they have an alternative system. They have an Elgin system here.
Which is basically smaller than a conventional. In terms of the
Yeah, it allows them to have less separation between groundwater and the bottom of the system, so it's not quite as mounded as it would be. The contours on this plan are 1 foot, so it might seem a little steeper than normal because we usually see 2-foot contours. So that's it. This is a septic. They have no option as far as, they have to replace it. It's failed. And they have taken the steps that we asked as far as marking the edge of the wetlands and documenting the lawn line.
Where's the what's the tree cut count?
They did not count the trees.
Are there a lot? That's why I wanted to go out to the site, but I guess.
I mean, so he did put a note here that says the trees will be cut within the grading area will be removed. So one of the differences here is that there aren't a lot of places to plant. So if we ask them to put shrubs, which you certainly can, along the slope, but because of the tree cover, the tree line, and how narrow it is here, there isn't a lot of place to put trees that will be of great use.
This is a failed system from before, or?
Yes. The existing septic system is somewhere right in here.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Is the location of the existing system going to be turned into, what is that going to be, lawn in the end, or is
That'll
that?
just be abandoned. They won't do anything with it.
But they could plant trees over it.
I think there's already trees over it. It's an old system.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
Okay,
They'll be
never mind.
removing, the tank sits out here in the lawn, and they're going to be removing, there's a cesspool out here and a septic tank. Those will be crushed and properly disposed of. But in this, that's in the lawn within that erosion control barrier.
Is the shed remaining there to the right of the, as we're looking at the map of the septic?
Yeah,
leach?
we didn't discuss the shed.
It's in the woods?
It's right here, yeah.
I mean, no, I'm saying, but it's in the woods.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have some pictures of the site?
I do not.
No.
I mean, the only thing is, even if it's difficult to do plantings, we really don't have an idea of how many trees are being cut down. Which we almost always want to know that information.
Sure. So that's, yeah, absolutely. So we can certainly, ask them to continue. And that was one of her options. We could either continue it until the next meeting or go forward with what they're working with. And if you want to, count trees and either propose shrubs around the outer limits, that would be fine.
That's
I mean, we have in the past, so.
Do people want to do a site visit so we can see what it means to do some mitigation?
I wouldn't mind,
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay,
because essentially we can't tell whether it's reasonable to ask for anything or not.
right. That's why I wanted to do, I'd like to do a site visit too.
Okay.
Why don't we get, we have a bit of time, why don't we see if we can get a site visit before the next meeting? And then we can look at that kind of mitigation and what the tree cutting is. Does that make sense, everybody?
All right, when's the site visit gonna be?
Gonna be on
Christmas Day?
New Year's Day. Oh, yeah, right. We'll see if we get a white Christmas. Well, that's well, we have some time since the meeting won't be until January 9th. So we can not, we could probably find something. That doesn't interfere with everybody's festivities. Unless we want to try to pick something now. Well, we have 6 of us. Let's see who wants to do it. Or I assume,
Should we shoot for the week of the 6th then? Is the meeting's on the 9th, or is that not enough time? Oh, I
well, they
guess
can certainly do the tree stuff and see if they can come up with mitigation. What's that? Say again?
yeah, they can, I mean, they can figure out how many trees it is and, you know, maybe it's not a lot of trees, maybe,
And maybe they could come up with some planting ideas.
right. And then we can do I'm just assuming people are more likely to be back in town the week of the 6th, right before the meeting, so.
People like the idea of a January, I guess, January 5th, depending if we do a weekend. Do people want to do that weekend or the 6th or 7th?
I can't do the 6th or 7th, but I could do the weekend before then.
Okay, what other people do?
I'm
Steve?
very flexible.
Okay,
I seem to be as well.
okay, Courtney, do you care? I could probably do the weekend, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Maybe since we have a general, like, those couple days, we could send out a doodle poll.
No, I just want to pick a time now.
Let's pick a,
Let's pick it and then we could just move it if somehow. So if we want to do it, do people care between Saturday and Sunday?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm good either way.
Okay, Joyce, do you think Karen would care either way, or who knows?
I don't think we'll get Karen on a weekend.
Okay,
I mean, we don't need her to be there.
well, we don't need it to do it. And do you care either way, 4th or 5th, Joyce?
I'll do whatever you decide that works best for everybody.
Oh, wow, you're just so good. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna pick Sunday for the moment. And Sunday morning at you wanna do the morning, 10 o'clock?
Sure.
Okay, 10 o'clock, everybody? Going once, twice? Okay, January 5th, 10 a.m. Obviously, we change it if we need to. Right,
Hey, Michael,
yeah,
can you maybe send a reminder text on like the Saturday, the day before, just to replant it in my head?
I'd be more than happy to as part of my chair job.
That would be wonderful.
Geez.
Chair of the year, right there.
Okay, don't butter me up too much. I don't know what I'm getting for my year-end prize. So, okay. Then, okay, so I move to continue this hearing until, I guess, hold on, before I do that. So is there anything else you want to them besides some tree cut data and some possible mitigation? Are there other things that we need on this, for the plan? I guess you can put it back up again, where the monuments in a reasonable place. I just want to look at the monuments thing again.
I had them put it at the edge of the lawn.
Right, made sense. I just want to see how many, where they are.
So, if we're gonna have them revise it, then what I might do is, take a look and see if there's a tree over here that the marker can go on to be on this end of the septic over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I would think we'd want something out there too. Because along that line, the tree line. Where are the markers? Can you move the cursor to where the markers are?
So this is one on the tree line, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Does that mean that between the first and the second, does that mean they're gonna abandon some lawn?
No,
A line between those two?
I don't think so, because this is their, I mean,
It's the rolling
that's
lawn.
up to you. Why don't we just wait? Why don't we just look and see?
Okay. Right, I mean, right, if it's the rolling lawn there and getting some protection there. Okay. Then, okay, we'll deal with that when we get, to the meeting. Okay, I move that we continue this hearing until, let's see, if we're doing, you said there might be there's the RDA for trees.
Yep.
Which one do we
So-
want to do, which first?
So you have 3 Oldfield at 7:20, and then,
No,
Let's-
the Field is January 23rd.
oh, January, I'm so sorry. I've got them separated here too. The 9th
The 9th, we have the tree cutting one and
at,
the,
at 7:20, and
that's
then,
at 7:20, okay.
this one can go at 7:35.
7:35, so you don't think the tree cutting is too controversial or whatever mitigating they might do?
Well,
Um,
we've been spacing them closer together because when people cancel, you end up with great blocks of time.
That's true.
Um,
You can always just delay a little, right? Exactly. Okay, that's no problem. So this is 41 Great Rock. That's 7:45. I move that we continue this hearing until 7:45, January 9th at 2025.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Steve,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt,
I,
Jacob.
Aye.
Okay, now, what we got here? We did Great Rock, we did Old Field, so I am now going to open up the continued public hearing on the Sherborn wetland regulations. I haven't had any time to go deal with some of this tree stuff that we started talking about last time. And I don't know if somebody else is interested in, has some time to look at sort of, I think we decided that we were gonna just make it a policy and not put specific numbers except some guidance numbers in, maybe some guidance numbers in the regs. So people have something. Well, I'll just open it up to see if anybody has some time to go maybe review the tree policies in other places to see what kind of mitigation tables they have. Does anybody have any time or interest in doing that?
Not, I mean, in general, but not between now and the next meeting.
Yeah, that's what.
No, between now and the 23rd. That change anybody's mind? Think about it. You know where to find me. I have some stuff. I think we'll move this hearing until, let's see, on the 23rd, we have 7:20 for that one. Okay, I guess there shouldn't be any reason why Oldfield doesn't work, except for if they suddenly decide they can't make the meeting. I'll move this, how about if we, Joyce, we just move this, the regs thing to 7:20 on the 23rd. And then
Okay.
we can shift it then. I move that we continue this hearing until January 23rd, 2025 at 7:20 PM.
26, 27, 28.
Yeah, look who's here, Karen. Okay. Okay, did you second that? Somebody second that?
I was waiting to see if anybody else would,
I thought
so.
I did.
Yeah, that's what, now I get what you would. Phew, went right by me. Did somebody second it?
Yes.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Michael, I, Steve,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Jacob,
Hi.
Matt,
Hi.
Kurt.
Aye.
Okay. Hi, Karen. We continued your hearing until January 9th, but we have some things to that we'd like to have a site visit and get some tallies of tree cutting, and that'll be done there, and maybe some mitigation for the tree cutting if you can come up with some sort of planting ideas.
Okay,
And I don't know whether I missed anything, or whether you talked to Joyce about it.
So, no, so the plan that Karen and Eric revised showed what we talked about. The commission was like, we're gonna move one bound in a different location. And I could not remember the number of trees that were out there, so we couldn't come up with a mitigation planting plan. So what we'll do is get everything ready to go on the 9th, and just have everything written up ahead of time so that this can be moved forward.
that's fine. The system's not gonna go in until the spring anyway, so.
Okay, so there's a site walk on Sunday. A date, somebody?
January 5th.
Thank you.
On Sunday, January 5th at 10 a.m.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome to join us. Or,
I probably will.
we'll see. I guess it would help. We'll see if there's much snow cover. I guess we're supposed to get really some cover.
Well, they've staked out the limit of excavation, so
Oh,
even
good.
if it snows, you can see that.
Great. That makes a big difference. Then we could obviously see the, and I guess they're doing the tree count. They could just sort of put some bands around the trees, mark the trees that are going to be cut.
Okay.
Okay. And that's that. Any other questions you'd have for us, Karen, or that's enough?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, go enjoy.
Sorry I was late.
It's okay, it didn't hold anything back, and go enjoy the holidays. Okay,
You too. Happy holidays, everyone.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's move on to the miscellaneous, the rest of the thing here. Administrative approval applications. There are a bunch of them here. Are they all approved?
Yeah. Yeah, there's 2 septic updates, meaning that they came before us for testing and now they have the design. And the rest are all there was a distribution box in there.
Yeah, no, I'm just
So-
gonna read for the record.
Yeah,
Before-
well, I mean, it's
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know, I've gotten the habit of just reading for the recording, since people don't necessarily have the so it's a better record. The approved administrative approvals are 24 Dexter Drive for a porch, 7 Goulding Street for distribution box replacement, 11 Ames Drive for proposed addition and relocation of septic tank, 13 Mill Street for soil testing, and 250 Western Ave for soil testing, 31 Great Rock Road for septic design update, and 2 Surrey Lane septic design update. Okay, moving on. Okay, it's budget season. Oh yeah, does anybody have any announcements before I forget that? Any site issues, Joyce, before I run through things?
No.
Okay,
Actually, I've got something. Can I have a minute here, Charles? Michael?
of course.
So you may recall we spoke a couple weeks ago about partnering up with the high school in their community service projects to try to get the kids some local hours and helping out with the town. And I've been in touch with a couple of folks in Sherborn with the trails. I was wondering if there's anything with regard to our commission that could use any labor or would be appropriate for high school kids to volunteer for. If anyone has any ideas, just let me know. We don't have to talk about it right now, but if anyone can think of anything that would be appropriate and make sense, just reach out to me.
Okay, we can have them pull all of the buckthorn up on Peters Hill.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. We would need to coordinate it, but that's doable. And the kids are looking for hours, and the community service director.
How many kids are there? Are there many kids?
Well, yeah, I mean there are, and I've been in touch with the principal and the community service director, and they're always looking for things to do, for the kids to do. And that something like that is great because it's local, it helps out their town, and a bunch of them can kind of do it together under supervision, obviously, but wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no, there's certainly enough buckthorn in one place where there's not too many other not native ones. I
So
guess to think about whether we actually want to do it that way versus that whole chemical approach that Ted was approached to talking about, that we never got a quote on, or we never talked to somebody, and whether we try an area of it of just hand pulling, we just cordon off an area just to see whether how it works. Is that something that I guess one of the other issues is the land management, because I wanted to just get an update for people who met with Kelly and Ted or whatever on doing a plan. Do you think that, so moving into land management, do you think we should consider doing that kind of little experiment, like cordoning off some, who knows,
Sure.
1,000 square feet or so, and
Is this even on the agenda? Let's not
yes,
go.
so
rogue.
land management issues are on the agenda.
Okay, as long as it's on the agenda.
It's
Let's
on the
not
agenda.
go
Put it on the agenda.
rogue.
And he fed right into it.
Why don't we talk to the land management group, because maybe pulling buckthorn experiment isn't the most urgent thing on the list.
Sure, I could see that.
So why don't we talk to them and see if they have any proposals for things that we might use brute force
Right.
labor.
You can do, yeah, the buckthorn pulling, since it's been such a mild fall. And I guess, what is it we got here? Guess we have winter coming up in a few days. That buckthorns can still be pulled out of the ground before it's frozen. But we'd have to go see whether that also works when we get around to actually organizing it, whether the ground's too frozen to do good pulls.
Buckthorn is really hard to pull out. I mean,
What do you mean? I've pulled out thousands of them in my time here.
maybe I'm thinking maybe some of the bigger ones I have in my yard.
Or up to about 2 inches, it gets a little, you could do it, but after that, it might get a little tough. Those we could deal with differently. Or we can go borrow the weed wrench that I know Art Snore has. That's kind of fun to use. But whatever, let's go to the land management. Now, land management, I guess Kelly and the group there met with a few of you guys who attended that.
There, and Steve was there.
Steve was there. Did you go? Anybody else go?
No.
Okay. So where I gather that you were developing a plan for like maybe $8,000 a year and hiring Ted for $2,000 a year. Is there any other general insights in terms of priorities you'd want to share?
We didn't really come up with a plan for priorities.
more of an organizational meeting. It really wasn't
Yeah.
too much talk about that kind of granular.
You basically just summarized it, Michael.
Okay. And so whatever the 8,000 is for, who knows at the moment, other than it's a foot of a 5-year plan, I think Kelly had sent me about. Okay, so is it worth anything more other than the fact that your group's gonna meet again and actually scope out something? Is that reasonable to wait for?
Yeah.
I think Kelly's taking the lead on this. Is that fair to say, Courtney? Is he the one who's going to organize the next meeting? And
Yeah, and I think they were also working on they have some spreadsheets of all the parcels that they're working on too, so I'm assuming nothing's gonna happen till after the holidays.
I agree.
Okey doke, that covers one item here. I'm going to let's see, we still have minutes.
Can I got an email from, if you recall, the Northeast Seed Network, that they had asked if they could go in and collect seeds
Oh, yeah.
from the Barber Reservation. I got an email back from them that said they had finished out there, that they had completed 2 collections of 12 species, totaling approximately 688 plant individuals of different species, and approximately 260,000 seeds, and that it was strictly less than 20% of each plant.
Yeah.
Each plant. So when they collected the seeds, they didn't take more than 20% of the seeds from each plant.
And they collected 260,000 seeds?
Apparently, I don't know how they counted them.
Yes, I know.
But they were they were pleased.
And still counting. Wow. Did they send us a list of what species they actually found?
They did.
Okay.
I'm not. It's funny. I can't. I do not recognize it, and I can't pronounce it. I will I will forward the email to everybody.
Sure, that should be amusing. Well, good. I'm glad we had something to contribute. But
Was it Ionactis linearifolia? That's what they said they were
No, I'm gonna look it up real quick. That's not what they.
Oh, they got something different.
okay. Well, we should. I think we should have a news release saying how our Barber Reservation has yielded. Should put a little announcement on the town website how fruitful the barber is. I think some people might find it quite interesting. Funny.
One was Joe Pieweed. I didn't recognize that. They only have Latin names.
Oh, I think we should write back and say, could you give us the regular names?
No, I don't think I can do that. And the other one was little blue stem or beard grass.
Okay. Oh, so there are only 2 plants that
They only did 2 species. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said they did more species. Okay.
You know, they said 2 collections of 12 species, but they only listed
2.
2.
I don't know. We got to get a complete inventory of our resources. I was half serious about it's so comical to hear 260,000 seeds that I almost do want to put a news release on the town website saying saying that this is what
I think I'm gonna email her back and ask her to clarify that.
Yeah, clarify that, and I think we could have some fun with it. So to be continued. Now let's move on. We got minutes and budget. This is budget season. We were supposed to have submitted a budget back in beginning of the month by December 1st. And the let's see here. Let's see what it's gonna look like on the screen here. I guess it's so here. Maybe I'm gonna open it up on my own screen. So I prepared a budget. Let's see, where is it? Okay, this is the hopefully people can see a spreadsheet here. I want to get this stuff out of here. Okay, this is the format. Since we do it every year, they give us this standard spreadsheet that we have to fill in this column here. I'll make it bigger for folks. Maybe too big. I'm gonna get this thing out of here. Okay. Now, what the instructions were, each year we get a guidance from the advisory committee that reviews all the budgets and different things. And as has been the habit of the last number of years, is given the fiscal issues that they tell most departments to just do. They want to only pay level funded, they call it, which means the same amount as the previous year. But you get to include what's the cost of living adjustment for the salaries. And each year, personnel board with some assistance from real economists who sit on the advisory come up with a cost of living adjustment, which is a tough one to do each year. This year they came up with 2.5%. Inflation is obviously a little bit more than that, and so, but that's what they came up with. It parallels things like Social Security and other kind of stuff. But that's set, so you're allowed to basically do a budget where, not allowed, what they prefer is, if you're not gonna have a reduced budget, that you stay level at the same amount as the previous year with the addition of the 2.5% for the salaried parts. So in this case here, this was our approved budget from last year. And the budget request that I created was essentially, I'll show you more detail on that, but it's basically only a little above 2% above the previous year. So it's a little bit less than the 2.5 that the cost of living increase. You see the 2.5 for the administrative assistant's position, which is Deb's position. And for all of the other expenses, we basically held them flat. Made it $10 less just to round it off. I did some reallocation of the numbers based on what I saw our expenses were this current year. The 6,000 for our land property management has just been constant for a bit. And the other efforts that come up with will be funded from our special fund that we have for conservation lands. Now, so this meets their advisory. In fact, we're under the advisory since this thing here could easily be over 2% because the agent position is only having a little over 2% and not a 2.5% increase. The budget, this is the part that they ask you to fill in, is the 2.5%. Starting in this January, Joyce is going to start increasing her hours. And this budget here is based on rising by the next fiscal year. It's 30 hours a week. At a rate that has been negotiated. That's comparable to her experience. And then there's that this was based on discussions with what other people were paying in other towns, as well as talking with the town administrator, since we fall under the select board. So the town administrator oversees our budgeting process. Even though, and we still have to go to the select board and then advisory. The salary for the administrative assistant is an increase of the 2.5% and staying at the 15 hours budgeted. That gives these two numbers here, which is a total that's a little over 2% increase. So it falls within less than the 2.5% that they're asking for. What we've decided to do as part of the negotiations is that in the next year, with Joyce working there in the fiscal year of 26, that we don't know whether it's going to be 30 to 35 hours a week, depending on how everything settles once we catch up on things and whatnot. So that amount that goes above the 30 hours, which is something we did the previous year, where we also said we would fund some of the salaries from the state filing fee fund, which is when everybody when everybody files an RDA or an NOI or an NRAD, they have to pay a state fee in addition to the local fee. And of the state fee, about half of it comes back to us, and it goes into a special fund that could only be used for wetland protection. That fund has a significant amount of money, probably about $35,000 or $40,000. I think that one has that. And so to sort of start using that money up and at a sustainable level, or the proposal is to fund anywhere from 2 to 5 hours more for the agent position, would come out of that fund. So that might amount to about, let's say, an estimate, we do 2 hours of about $5,000. We'll see how the next 6 months go. So this is something that's just flexible. And it might even have flexibility around whether it pays for some hours for Deb that go above 15. And so far, at least the town administrator and the town accountant has accepted this kind of construct for our budget. And the fact that we meet advisory targets. There's a long thing. I want everybody to know it since we have to vote on it and then defend it in several meetings. Any questions? You want me to put the other spreadsheet up? Does anybody? Let me know if you want to see something else.
No, you preempted the questions I had as you went along, so.
Okay. Hearing that there's no questions, we'll see how this goes through the process, but for now, we need to vote. And so I vote to approve the budget as presented here for FY26 that meets advisory guidelines.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, aye. Steve?
Aye.
Courtney?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
Okay, we've done that. Now we're moving on to the world of minutes. We have 4 sets of minutes. I don't know if anybody else got to read them besides Courtney and I.
I did not.
I looked through them.
Any comments?
Good job, Courtney.
Yes. Steve, did you have any comments or edits? But you're muted.
I didn't have any comments. One meeting I wasn't there for.
Okay. There's 4 of them. I could bring them up quickly if people want.
Deb also was kind enough for some of these minutes to send out like a rough draft, which really facilitated things. So I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you, Deb. I tip my hat to you as well. And thank Courtney as well.
It's good for me too, because when people call, I look at that outline and I
Yeah,
can say, oh, I can tell you.
good. Okay,
So it works.
we got a process moving here. So I can bring up each one briefly. They're not, most of them are only 2 pages. What are people's inclinations?
I would just say pause for 2 minutes and I read them locally. I don't need to see them on the screen.
Yeah, I don't want to see them again. So if Jacob can look on his own screen, that's best for me.
Oh, you mean you're having some sort of PST?
Okay, these look good to me.
Okay. Matt, are you perusing them or?
I'm good.
Okay, Kurt, you care to do more or you're okay?
No, I'm okay. Move forward.
Okay, I move that. I move that we approve the minutes as presented for, the drafts as presented for June 20th, 2024, September 19th, 2024, October 3rd, 2024, and November 21st, 2024, with thanks to Deb and Courtney.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I, Steve,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney.
Didn't you already call me?
I don't think so.
Aye.
You can vote twice, just to be sure. Okay, let's see here. We did that, we did that, we did that. Okay, anything that I might have missed? Any questions anybody has? Okay. Looks like we're recessing for the holidays. Have a good holiday, everybody, and I move to adjourn at 8:41.
Second.
Roll call vote. Oh, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Steve.
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Jacob.
Aye.
Kurt.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Okay.
Good night.